Well, I was out here just taking some truck bed lining and painting the reinforcing guidelines, I guess you would call that, for the flagpole. I don't think I engineered this flagpole strong enough. It's actually not the corner post for the fence, but the mid post, the ones that are the fence post, not the top rail, but the mid post. And how I joined them was I put a sleeve on the inside and the outside, and I welded them with a butt weld plus a sleeve welded to the inside and sleeve welded to the outside. But the pole itself, but you know, with the guidelines, you barely can, I don't think you can see them in a camera. I could barely notice them by naked eye. What I did was I took some truck bed lining. If you want a fence to disappear or a line to disappear, paint it black. Same thing with chain link fences. They don't show up as much. If you want to actually put up a chain link fence, you know, a lot of people put up the silver ones. The green ones don't show up too much, but actually the black ones disappear. And I use that to, and maybe you can see it. Yeah, you can see the, shit, maybe you can't. There, you can see the wire right there. See, it's actually paracord. But it's truck bed lined, it's polyester cord, it's not going to rot out. It's also truck bed lined, like I said, which is going to protect it. Now, also, what I got is plans for a bigger flag. I was trying to look up if there's some kind of ordinance about how big you can go on your property. I didn't see nothing. I saw with a light pole was 35 feet. This is about 26 feet, maybe 26 and a half, say 26 feet. It's got a 5x8 flag on it. If I went to 35 feet, it would be a 6x10 flag. If I went to 40 to 50 feet, well, I don't know about 40, well, 40 feet and 45, a little over 40 feet, I could probably put a 10x15. And let me explain how I might do that. You know, on this, I don't know, 16-foot pole, that's the Army of North Virginia. That's just a tripod I made with paracord. This flag was flying with the pole was up, with the flag flying through Hurricane Irma. And that's some water pipe. That's all it is. But since it had that down there, you know, it gives you a hell of a lot more strength. That's why that pole I have up there with the 5x8 flag, when it's, you know, attached in two different places, one about 4.5 feet high and the other one about 10 feet high, with that, it ain't going nowhere, man. That's one way to get away a lot cheaper, get by a lot cheaper. You can also use this with you can put like a little picket fence around here or something, a round thing, so nobody trips over the stuff. Could also make the flag look better. You can have it up a lot higher. You can use in those screw-in augurs for the sheds and the steel cables, and then paint them with truck bed lining so they disappear. And when you have those screw-in tie-down augurs for like use on sheds for hurricane tie-downs, it ain't going nowhere. Then you can attach it maybe about that high up. So on the forest flag, this was going through the hurricane too, Hurricane Irma. It's just a tripod. That one actually has four wires, you know, east, west, north, and south. This has 3, and that one's actually attached to a lot stronger stuff. It's got thicker stuff. It's also doubled up, but you can't tell now that I painted it black. You can't tell there's you know, support on there. It just looks like a pole. So the other thing is, when you go to a bigger flag, exponentially, you know, and also the height exponentially increases the size of, you know, the amount of force that's exerted on the pole. But the higher up you can brace it, like in other words, like with this, right? You have it up there a little higher. If you do something like that, and you know, even if you come in at more of an angle, and you have like, you know, steel 1/8 inch or 1/8 inch cable or something, vinyl coated, you truck bed line them black so you don't notice them. Like, you don't really notice these cables on here. This is actually paracord, and you put them in with steel augers, like the, you know, the shed tie down augers. You know, then, you know, say this 16-foot pole, you're up about 4 feet here. It's like having a 12-foot pole. And all this is the centerpiece for, not the centerpiece, it's one of the, you see one of those poles right there going, you know, vertical. It's a line pole, not a corner post. Like a corner post is down there. That's even thicker. It's just a line pole with a top pole inserted in it. In a way, I got it where it was an interference fit, I just put Gorilla Tape on it and hammered it in. So this is just paracord with an eye bulb. No, nothing fancy. So what I've been looking at is, I couldn't find. I was looking at the pipes, various size pipes for like water pipes, and they got standard sizes and they don't fit within each other. That was one of the problems. I was looking at this fence post stuff, and I was like, what if do I have to get an exhaust pipe or something to use it as an inner sleeve or something? What the hell can I use? It's kind of mild steel too, right? I found I found a Schedule 40. I know they got Schedule 80 too, but I can't find Schedule 80 in this stuff I was looking at. It's structural aluminum. It's like aircraft grade aluminum, 6061 T6 heat treating. It's the stuff they make airplanes out of, even like gun parts and stuff. So usually it's 7075 T6. Sometimes you'll see like gun parts made out of 6061 T6, but it's like a high quality aluminum. It's almost a 1/4 inch thick. When you get an outside diameter of 4.5 inches, the inside diameter is 4.026 with a wall thickness of, I think, 236 thousandths, almost a 1/4 inch thick. The next size down is a 4-inch OD, so it leaves you a 64th of an inch all around to fit one pipe into the other pipe. So what I could do is I can actually double wall sleeve it about 20 feet up, where you'd have one pipe inside the other pipe. It would be almost a 1/2 inch thick of structural aluminum, 6061 T6, and I could do a 35-foot flagpole with a 6x10 flag. Now, you got to remember that it's a little deceptive when you're hearing the sizes. Like this, I did have a 5x8, and I thought it was a little wobbly till I reinforced it. I put a 4x6, then I went back to the 5x8 when I reinforced it. A 4x6 flag is 24 square feet. A 5x8 is 40 square feet area. So you actually went up 2/3. You went up 67% in area, just going from a 4x6 foot flag to a 5x8. If you go up to a 6x10 from a 5x8, you went up 50% area again. Now, if you go up to a 10x15, like on a 40-something foot to 50-foot flagpole, that's 150 square feet. Even this 5x8, which is 40 square feet, that's almost 4 times the area. In other words, the flagpole would be almost twice as high, but the flag would be 4 times the area, almost 4 times the area. It's deceptive when you're looking at, length times width. You got to look at the square footage. This 5x8 flag does look a lot bigger than a 4x6, but a 10x15, I don't know if I'm going to do that or if I'm just going to go with the 6x10 later on. But I already just did this, and I don't want to undo it. So it'll be up here at least a few more months till I go to the next project. But I was thinking if I'm going to do this, why not, if I go to a 35 foot, what am I going to do? Want to go to a 45 foot? So maybe I'll just do this all at once, but I got to see what the codes are. I know with a light pole on your property, you're limited to 35 feet, so maybe that's what it would be, 35 feet with a 6x10, which will still be 50% bigger than this. And this doesn't have like a revolving truck on this shit. It gets wrapped around a pole once in a while, and it comes apart. It's freaking, ain't going for no high-tech shit. No internal halyard, just eye bolts for pulleys and stuff. And once in a while it does that, but then it gets, it unfurls after, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or some shit. It never stays like that. So anyway, that's a plan for the future. Now, depends if I go to a 35 footer, reinforced up double wall thickness for the first 10 feet, which will include a few feet in the ground, so maybe 7 feet off the ground, double 1/2 inch thick wall thickness, because it's double wall on a T61, on a 6061 T6 heat treated aluminum. That might run, I don't know, $900, but then for another couple $100, or maybe $300 more, I might be able to go up to about 40 something feet, maybe 43 to 45 feet, and I'll still do these, instead of using those what do you call it, paracord, I'll use steel cable that's truck bed lined, you know, and with the, I'll show you what I mean. See on, well, this is actually concreted into there. It's like, that might be the way to do it. With these, they're like augurs. You just take a big screwdriver or pipe or something, fits in there, you turn it, and it screws down into the ground. And actually, if you put cement on it, it's not going nowhere. And I could put some kind of cable like this, truck bed line it with, you know, black truck bed lining, so this will disappear. This will be way stronger. And if you ever need to tighten them up a little bit, you just turn them. So like after it's all adjusted, I can just put concrete over it, and it's in there with these. These have been here probably, I don't know, 20 years, man. It holds this sucker down really tight, man. So, you know, I could do that with this. And I don't know, maybe you could see the cables. They're not that freaking noticeable now that they painted them black. They're not that noticeable. But, yeah, say this thing was up another, I don't know, 17 feet higher. What the hell would that be? 43 feet. Right now it's freaking wrapped. Well, it'll unwrap. But if it was up another 17 feet, if you have that 10 feet, like in other words, that would be 43 feet. But, you know, if you have that braced up from 10 feet high, and it's double wall thickness for the first 20 feet, you're only bracing up 33 feet, and actually 23 feet where it stops being almost a half inch thick of this, what do you call it, 6061 T6 aluminum. Because one wall, I think it's 236 thousandths, in the inner sleeve, if it fits in there, it should fit in there, it's like a 64th of an inch around, is 236 thousandths, I think, or 224 thousandths. So it's virtually a half inch thick. That is some really, I mean, that is way thicker than the top rated hurricane flagpoles. But the top rated Hurricane flagpoles usually have they taper down to 5, 6 to 7 inches. But usually they're 188. There's a couple that are 2 something, but I don't think they're 6061 T6 aluminum, man. They're like, you see now it unfurled, right? You know, it'll be, what the hell would it be? 4.5 inches on the bottom versus 5, 6, or 7. I mean, I've seen hurricane ones that were 5 inches on the bottom that they were good for like 100 mile an hour flag wind speed at 35 feet. You know, then again, if I'm going up 40, but then again, if I have it with this, you know, if it's 43 feet high, it's going to be tied off at 33 feet. So, you know, you try to find a flagpole that's rated for hurricanes that's like 43 feet high. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, though, because number one is the codes. I could probably do 35 feet. That I think I could do. I'd go up another 9 feet with this thing and put a bigger flag on it. But number two is getting a bitch up there. I'm going to probably have to use my rope come along. It's a ratchet puller that's got a rope in it. I'll show you what the hell it is. Yeah, that'll be the rope come along. It's a ratchet puller. It pulls a rope through here. You guys use a certain size rope. It's good for like 1,500 pounds. And I got 100 feet of rope in it. So if I had it laying down this way, I could start pulling it up this way with 2 guidelines holding it this way, multiple guidelines. And so it doesn't flop this way or that way. That it goes in a hole. But you're probably talking, I don't know, 275, 300 pounds of freaking steel. Not all of it being up there, but that's going to be a lot of pulling. And I'd have to have a way to keep it down from springing up here. I might be able to do it though, you know. There's a way. It's just going to take some freaking engineering. But, you know, if it is legal for me to go past 35 feet, I'm probably going to go to 40 something feet, go with the 10 by 15 flag and reinforce it like this. And it might cost $1,300, but that's a hell of a lot better than paying, you know, $4,000 or $5,000. And it's going to be hurricane rated, so, you know, we'll see about this. But for now, that flag's up there pretty damn solid with those guidelines on it, and you can't see those guidelines. They're black, they're painted black, they're truck bed lined. That's a way to get away with a lot less, you know, material. Just like if you're making a tower for, I don't know, observation tower or something, whatever the hell it is, or saying you're making something for getting, you know, your, cell phone repeater or something. You want to put something way up in the air, or maybe you're putting a CB antenna way up in the air. If you're making a tower or a pole or something, hey, just reinforce it, man. Just reinforce it with guidelines like that, or steel cables. It's going to make a huge difference. So this thing, actually, you're talking about from where it's reinforced, that's like way overkill for 16. It's basically only 16 feet is from where the point is where it's reinforced. That flagpole will probably handle, I don't know, a hell of a lot of wind even with that big flag on it, which is a fairly good size flag. But like I said, if you're going to a 10 by 15 or even that 6 by 10, the 10 by 15 flag I think is like $900 or some crap. It's not cheap. So if I go that big, it's not going to be that cheap, you know. But even if I go to 35 feet, it's going to be a lot more noticeable from a busy road that's back there. So this one is kind of blocked off by some of the trees. Not the trees this way, my trees. If I get up here and trim them, you'll be able to see it a lot better. But if I go to a bigger one, you'll be able to see it quite a ways off. And once again, this is Hazard County, brought to you from Hazard County, Florida, that is. And we run our Harleys on Hagaco gasoline. That's a cool sign, man. I really love that sucker. Of course, we got Cooter's Garage here, Dixie Motor Oil. And we got Wasco P. Coltrane watching over the community here with Redneck Parking Only and a Hazard County Garage. Actually, what I might do set up here is a pole barn. Pole barn, or maybe garage barn thing, and put some kind of bathroom in or some shit like that, some insulation. And, see what the hell we got. This way we can have some meetings over here and stuff. With Hagaco gasoline in Hazard County. Yeah!